2019, the World Health Organization classified burnout as a syndrome resulting from chronic workplace stress that has not been successfully managed. Burnout has had a profound effect on the legal profession. Workaholism, hard work, long hours, the things that make an attorney become a successful attorney are the very things that lead to burnout. In this video, I'm going to discuss some of the causes and symptoms of burnout, and most importantly, what you can do to prevent it. Coming up. What's up, everybody? My name is Eric Scramlin. I'm an attorney. I'm the founder of Tactical Legal Solutions. I suffered from severe burnout. I was a prosecutor from 2011 to 2017. And in that time, I started from a baby assistant district attorney and worked my way all the way up to chief deputy in 2017. I spent countless hours in the office. I didn't set boundaries. I didn't take time for myself. And by July of 2017, I'd realized that I was completely burnt out. So what is burnout anyway? Generally speaking, burnout is a workplace-related phenomenon. It's generally characterized by three different dimensions. Number one, feelings of exhaustion. Talking about the severe kind of exhaustion that sleep can't fix. The type of exhaustion that a 3 or 4 day weekend is just not going to recharge the batteries on. Number two, increased mental distancing from your job. So we're talking about feelings of negativism towards your work. Feelings of severe cynicism towards your career and what you do. And finally, reduced professional efficacy. The feelings that no matter what you do, you're not getting caught up. No matter what you do, it's not having an effect. You start to feel that your work just doesn't matter anymore, and no matter what you do, you're never going to catch up. So some of the common symptoms that we see with burnout, especially some of the things that I experienced as an attorney, you start to develop a lot of stress because your work demands go up, and as the work demands go up, the resources are lacking. And when that happens, you have an immediate stress response. Over time, a long period of time, that stress starts to build and cross over into some of these burnout symptoms. Things like cynicism, things like negative feelings towards your job. Especially for prosecutors, you can even develop a vicarious trauma, or what they call compassion fatigue. For me, I started suffering from hypervigilance. Whenever I was in a crowd, I was always looking around to see if someone was going to make a move or if they had a gun. Or every time we had, a big case coming up, I was worried that a defendant was going to come to my house and shoot me. There was even one time where I stayed up late into the night sitting on my front porch with a shotgun. Left unchecked, these symptoms quickly can cross over into depression. For me, that resulted in irritability and anger issues. And I remember my aha moment was the 4th of July weekend in 2017 when I was binge watching Turn on Netflix, and I'd realized that it was a beautiful weekend out, and I had been in the house all weekend binge watching Netflix, drinking, barely able to get out of bed. Burnout is a gateway. Left unchecked, these symptoms can quickly cross over into depression and other mental illnesses. But hey, luckily there's a lot of things we can do as individuals and as the legal profession as a whole. First of all, take care of yourself. Self-care is not selfish. You have to learn to set boundaries. The biggest thing for me looking back was my inability to set boundaries. For example, as a prosecutor, I was on call all the time. I would tell officers, call me anytime. Any time of the night, any time of the day, doesn't matter, call me. Looking back, I should have set boundaries. I should have said, hey, this is my vacation week. I'm not going to take calls. You can do that as an individual. You can do simple things like when you come home from work, yeah, you may have a lot of emails to catch up on, and there's always going to be that big trial coming up, but you can have dinner time from 5 to 7 and then schedule 8 to 9 as your check email time and then shut it down. Small steps like that can make a big difference in self-care and taking care of yourself to try to put some of these issues at ease. Find meaning in your work. For me as a prosecutor, the best years that I put in is when I was a drug prosecutor. I loved what I did. I loved working as a team, and I felt like I was really making a difference in my community. So if you're a prosecutor or you work for a big law firm, try to find those cases that you really care about and see if you can do more of that. And if you can't, create it for yourself. I started my own company. I started a podcast. I do these videos in my speaking business. For me, that's my meaningful work, and it's done wonders to combat my burnout. Learn to collaborate. I've always said this, some of the best attorneys that I've ever known are problem solvers. There is a chronic incivility that's infecting the legal profession and a lot of professions as a whole. You don't have to fight everything. Learn to collaborate, become a problem solver. The adversarial nature of the practice of law was one of the leading causes of my burnout. You'll be surprised at what you can accomplish and what it can do for your mental state if you just learn how to collaborate. You don't have to fight everything. Make sure you use the resources that are available to you. In the description below, I've left a link to mindtools.com. They have a ton of awesome stuff on mindfulness and meditation. These are both things that I think going forward in the future are going to be looked at as absolutely essential to your health. Law firms, legal employers, district attorney's offices. There's things that you can do to identify and accommodate and supervise employees that are at higher risk for burnout. Don't reward workaholism. Find ways to identify those employees that you have and work with them and accommodate them and give them the adequate workload they need so they don't cross over into severe burnout. Burnout is an epidemic facing our profession. Attorneys have a very high substance abuse rate. We have a high suicide rate, but it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be impossible to find a cure. If you want more information on attorney burnout, check out my website at tacticalattorney.com and please use the resources that I put in the description below. Thanks.